Welcome to another video tutorial. Today we're going to take a look at the song All Things New in the key of D. The original key is E, and again, a lot of times we have to lower the key or raise the key just so that the range fits our vocalist. In this case, we lowered it a whole step from the original track. So everything's based on the key of D. And this song's pretty straightforward. For guitar, it's mostly just a bunch of two-note power chords. But I do want to go over the intro and take a look at the verse and also take a look at the bridge. Alright, so the intro starts off on a B. So they play, again, these are two-note power chords. They're playing B on the second fret of A, and then an F sharp on the fourth fret of D. Right? So the rhythm for that goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And if you notice, it's not beginning on the downbeat, it's coming in between 4 and 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, after that they hit a single note C sharp, which is 4th fret of A, to a 5th fret of A, D. Then they land on a G power chord, which is 3rd fret of E and 5th fret of A. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then so then after that they play this melody. Okay, what they're doing is sliding, or not sliding, but doing a hammer on from the C sharp to D. So it's kind of a grace note up to D. So they go D, C sharp, D, C sharp. Alright, and I'm using my index and my middle finger because I'm going to use my pinky to hit this B, which is the 7th fret of E string. Okay, next part. We go middle finger on the A. So it's A to back up to B. Alright. Then what they do is they're hitting F sharp twice. But what they do is they do a grace note from an open E to F sharp. Okay? It's not... You want the F sharp to be accented. Okay, so they end the intro by hitting a C sharp to D, landing on that G again. Alright, so here's the whole intro. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and you can notice that on this line, I am using a palm muted technique on my right hand. Just kind of use it at your own discretion. Listen to the track and see what that guitar player is doing. That's kind of what I'm doing. Once I get to those lower notes on the E string, I use the palm mute. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at the verse. What they're doing on the verse is they actually use a clean channel. And they're only playing two notes for the verse. It's A and a B, and they're both played on the D string. So the whole verse is just this melodic thing happening. It's more rhythmic, but it's happening on the D string, and they're using this palm muted technique to kind of fill in the rhythm. So if this is our tempo, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's quarter note. 1. So eighth note would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So these guys are actually playing 16th notes on this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's all they're doing. 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Listen to the track to get that exact rhythm down. You don't necessarily have to do it exactly like the record, but just try to keep in mind that feel. Okay. So again, it's just that kind of that more of a funky feel. The verses are a lot more groovy than the choruses are, for sure. Choruses are a lot more rock driven, so is the bridge. Okay, next I want to take a look at the bridge. So the bridge, it's a pretty simple progression. They play G power chord, D power chord, A. Okay, and that's pretty much it. They play the bridge 3 times. The very last time they play the bridge, they actually change the progression to an E. So E power chord, D, A. All right, but what they used as a transition from the first progression to the second progression, this little melody. That melody is a G on your D string to F sharp on your D string to an E on your A string, then down to a D. So it's just a little walk down. Sorry about that. So anyway, so what happens is they play the first progression twice. All right, so they do 2 full bridges of that first progression. Then they lead us into the last progression. All right, so that's the gist of the bridge. But I do want you to remember that melody, because then they go into chorus 2. All right, that's just same progression as the first time we do the bridge. It's G, D, and A. And then they go into that vamp where they're singing whoa, whoa. Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's actually, they're singing the old life is gone, new life has begun. But either way, you're playing those chords. And they do the same thing the very last time they play that vamp. They change it to an E, D, A. Okay? Then there's a tag that comes after it, E. That'll take us back into the intro. All right? All right, just things I kind of want you to pay attention to. The song's not really difficult, so there's not a whole lot I have to go over. Just wanted to get that intro in, and I wanted you to notice where they use this melody. All right, so last thing I want to point out is the ending. So they end with an intro. All right, the last little melody is they're playing a C sharp and a D an octave higher than they normally do. It's up here on the G string and it's on the 7th fret. So they go D to C sharp, which is 6th fret, back to D, to C sharp, to a B, which is on the D string, 9th fret. So that's how they end All Things New. I hope this tutorial was pretty helpful. I know I kind of stumbled on a couple of the parts, but again, the song is pretty straightforward since everything is played in those 2-note power chords. Just make sure most important parts to get down are the intro, and then just using that melody in the bridge and the vamp. All right, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.